Thanks for watching my video. I was working with the WPF Data Grid, and I wanted to be able to change the back color as well as the font color when the item was selected. And what I found out is that this is how it's typically done in the XAML. You add this to the window resources, a style with triggers, where you define a trigger and you set the property is selected to true, and then it sets these colors. And this was my first attempt. Now if I run this right now the way it is, you'll see that it's not working. So what I found out, and I don't quite understand, is that if I take this key out and then run it, then it works. You can see that it's setting the back color to black and the font color to white. So I abandoned this idea, and then what I decided to try and do was I'm going to take these triggers out of the XAML, and then I was going to try to pull the style from the resources dictionary and then create a new trigger as long as 3 new setters, and then I'm going to clear the setters, clear the triggers, and add the setters to the trigger, and then add the trigger back to the style, because I need to access these values at runtime. I want to be able to change them. So this is another way I tried to do it, but if I run it this way, you see it defaults back to this because I have that key in there, and I need to have that key defined if I want to access it at runtime. So I need to leave that key in there. So I left the key in the XAML, but now if I change the back color, it works. However, if you try to do it a second time and you change it to green, you get this error where the trigger collection is in use. So you can change it the first time, but you can't change it the second time. So I gave up on this idea, and then what I decided to try to do was this. I tried to create a new style. Instead of pulling it from the resource dictionary, I decided to create a new style and set the target type to data grid cell. So that way I'll be working with a new style and not one pulled from memory. So if you run this, you can see it defaults because I have the key in there. If I change the back color now, I can change it as many times as I want and it works. I can change the font color. This is a border color. I usually make it the same as the back color so that it looks like this. But as you can see, I can change the back color as many times as I want without any problem. So the final solution that I came up with was this one. I decided not to pull it from the dictionary, and in fact I decided to do away with this altogether. If I just completely take the XAML out and generate the XAML at runtime like this, then it works. Now I can change the back color to any color I want as many times as I want without any problems. So in review, the solution I came up with is I created a new style, I set the target type. I created a new trigger with the isSelected property, and I set the value to true. I create a setter here for the foreground property, and I set this value to a runtime variable, to whatever color you want. And then I create another setter with the background property, and I set the value for that to any color that I want at runtime. And then I create a setter for the border brush property. This is just to make it look better. And I set that to whatever color I want to use at runtime. So this is how I came up with the solution for this problem. And if you look at the rest of the code, for example, the code behind for my change back color, you can see I just open a color dialog. I've imported this from Windows Forms. You'll need to include in your references over here Windows Forms in order to use this color dialog. So I open the dialog, and then if the user clicks OK, then I create a new Windows Media Color from the alpha number and the red number and the green number and the blue number from the dialog. And this is how you create a Windows Media Color so that you can create a brush. Now what I do is I set the rectangle background to a new brush using that color. And then I simply call the update grid, which is this right here. The other code behinds are very similar. I just open another dialog. I create a media color from the dialog values that the user sets. And then I fill the rectangle with that color, and then I call update grid color right here, which is what the solution that I came up with. But I hope someone learns from this video. I was looking for a video like this and I couldn't find one, so I decided to make one. So I hope it helps somebody. Thanks for watching.